Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve today, and I am back again to share with you guys another Best of 2021 award-winning makeup videos for you guys today. This one though, I am going to do a little bit differently. Today's kind of the miscellaneous category, so this is basically everything other than eyeshadow palettes, bronzers, highlighters, blushes, and face products. So I have a good range in here. A lot of lip products, a lot of kind of miscellaneous eye products like liners and mascaras, and then some tools. I've got some nail products, setting sprays, even a tiny bit of hair care and skincare that I'm going to share with you guys today. But these are all my award winners for 2021. A lot of them are new, but several of them are old, and a good mix of high-end and drugstore in here. Hope you guys are excited about it. Before we get into the makeup, special welcome to any new visitors to my channel. So happy to have you here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please do me a favor and give it a big thumbs up, and also make sure that you are subscribed before you leave. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the makeup. Alright, this looks a little overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff down here. I'm going to try really hard to kind of breeze through these and not talk too much, and we're also going to abandon the awards card today. We'll get back to it with the eyeshadow palettes. I have some really fun awards for eyeshadow palettes, but for today we're just going to kind of go through everything. And we're going to kick things off with some mascaras. So I did try out a lot of mascaras this year, certainly more than I should have. I think I have like 12 open mascaras right now. A few of them I am sure are getting very close to expiring, but I limited myself to just the top 3. And the first one will be no surprise to my regular visitors here. It is the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. This is my second tube, and I am just about ready to buy a third tube. I'm going to try and wait until about February or March to buy a new tube of this because I really love this as my kind of summertime, springtime mascara. This is my baseball season mascara because it is such a great water resistant mascara. It's super lengthening, it's very separating. It's not a clumpy mascara at all. It really does define and kind of separate each of your individual lashes, but until I remove it at night, it does not budge. It lasts all day long as I don't pinch it to pull it off. It is a tubing mascara. I love it. As far as higher end mascaras go, it's going to be hard for any mascara to top this one right here. But I did discover 2 standout drugstore mascaras this last year. One of them being this one right here. This is the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. This is a great little simple mascara. It's very affordable. I want to say this is about $6. I tried this out just a couple months ago. It does have a rubberized brush, and this one can be a little pokey, so be a little careful with this brush if you have very sensitive lash lines, eyelids in general. This one can be a little bit pokey if you're not careful, but I love what it does for my lashes. It wears really well on me. It's pretty easy to remove at night, and all around really good mascara, especially good if you like something lengthening and separating. But if you like something a little bit more volumizing and thickening, this would be my recommendation right here. This is the Essence Lash Princess. I know this is not a new release. In fact, I think I tried this out about 3 or 4 years ago when I first started my channel, but I never bought it again until so many of you guys said that this was your holy grail mascara, so I decided to give it another try, and I'm so glad that I did. This stuff is really great for a $5 mascara. It wears well on me. It's very nice and lengthening. It does a good job thickening my lashes as well. It is the one that I'm wearing today. Really great everyday mascara, and you can't beat the $5 price tag. Okay, I have a couple of liners to mention today. First off, my Wet n Wild Kohl eyeliner pencil in Simma Brown now. You guys might be familiar with this. If you've been with me since day one, you will be very familiar with this because I'm pretty sure I mention it every single year, and I will continue to. This is a staple for me. I have about 7 of these around my house, a couple in my little container next to my desk. I love a good dark brown, smoky, smudgeable eyeliner pencil, and this is perfect for what I like to use it for. This is a pencil that I like to use more for kind of smudging and just defining that outer corner of my lashes, not necessarily for drawing a precise line. It just adds a little bit of depth right along my lash line. It's really easy to use. You can't beat the price. It's 99 cents. I will forever be a fan of this liner. But I have another liner award to give out this year, and it goes to a new product, and this is the Kaja Wink Stamp Wing Eyeliner Duo. I tried this out just a couple of months ago, but I've been so impressed with this, and this is coming from someone that is not normally into liquid liner. I have always had a really hard time with liquid liners because I have a really hard time getting my lines even and getting them nice and straight and pointed in the right direction. I usually either go a little bit too high or a little bit too far out to where it's like dragging my eyelids down. For some reason, it's just harder for me to be really precise. But this cool little stamp right here makes it so much easier. It's like liquid liner for dummies, or the training wheels of liquid liner. Basically, this gives you a tiny little stamped wing on this outer corner. So this is the stamp. Right here, you have a right and a left side. You just line it up with your lower lash line, stamp it down, and then you use the liquid liner that comes with it to kind of fill in the little gap at the front. And if you want to extend it out a little bit more, you can do that. It gives you a little outline to follow. It's like tracing. It makes it so so much easier. I am wearing this liner on my eyes today, and it literally took me like 3 seconds on each side, which is amazing. Normally, any other type of liquid liner would take me at least 10 minutes each side, and then I'd have to like add a little bit more to each side to try and get them even, and by the time I'm done, my wings are like bat wings by that point. They're way too big, way too long, and that's the biggest reason I love this. Keeps my wings nice and small. It makes it a little bit easier and makes them just the right size. All right, let's move on to the brows. I think 2021 was the year of the brow for me. And I don't mean the year that my brows like made any sort of transformation or I became an expert at doing brows. I just became very particular about my brows this year, and I tried out a lot of brow products, but I have just a handful of award winners here that stood out to me and the ones that I liked the very most. So starting with this one right here, the e.l.f. Shape and Stay Wax Brow Stick. I have been raving about this for a couple of years now, but I do want to mention I use this a little bit differently than I used to. I used to use this after putting in my brow pencil just to kind of shape my brows a little bit, almost like as a brow gel, but it doesn't hold my brows in place very well. So what I actually do with this is the first product I put in my brows. I just swipe it in on both sides and brush it up, and that gives me a good idea of where I need to fill things in so I can get the shape of my brows just right. Then I'll go in with my brow pencil and with something to set them down afterwards. It's super cheap, it's only $2, but I think just adding that initial extra step helps me to shape my brows a little bit better. The next award winner will come as no surprise to those of you that have been watching me for a while. It is the Ultra Slim Brow Pencil by Ulta Beauty. I've tried a lot of brow pencils out this year and I've liked a lot of them, but I haven't found anything to beat this one yet. It just works so perfectly for me. It's the perfect shape. It's very affordable. It has a great spoolie on it. It's the one that I just keep going back to. I use the shade Ash Taupe, which is a perfect shade match for me. It's kind of a light medium gray toned brown, which is just what I need for my brows. It's amazing. I have a lot of brow pencils that I enjoy using, but if someone just asked me on the spot, name one brow pencil that you would use for the rest of your life, it would easily be this one right here. Next is my award-winning brow gel. Now, this one was a little tricky because I have a couple that I really like, but you guys, this one is very special to me, but it's a discontinued product, which I'm sad to mention. It's from CYO. It is the Brow and Lash Gel. So I got this a couple of years ago. It kind of sat in my drawer unused because CYO, I think, has been discontinued. Once I found that out, I was kind of like, well, I don't really want to use that because nobody else can buy it. But then I slowly started to use this. It's a very, very wet. It's actually kind of a messy brow gel, but it gives your brows this very wet look that I really, really love. I haven't found a brow gel that gives me quite the wet, like I just got out of the pool kind of look. That I don't know why I'm really into that look this last year. It does kind of stiffen my brows a little bit, but it holds them in place so incredibly well. And I just like that wetter looking brow where your eyebrow hairs are like individually defined. I have not yet found something to dupe this. I have a lot of tinted brow gels that I like, but they're a little bit softer hold, like the Benefit Gimme Brow, the e.l.f. Wow Brow. This one's just a little bit wetter, a little bit stiffer, but I like it more than any other brow gel that I've ever tried. So I had to give the award to this one, even though you can't get your hands on it anymore. 2 more brow awards, and these are the ones that really won me over this year. I initially wanted to pick just one, but I honestly couldn't because I like them both for similar purposes, but for different reasons. They are the ColourPop Clear Brow Wax and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze. These are both such great products. I love them both. I honestly couldn't pick a favorite between these two because I love them both, but they are a little bit different. First off, the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I mentioned this a lot recently. It's been in a couple different favorites videos. This is such a unique product. It is basically a clear styling wax slash pomade. This feels like what I would think like some sort of hair pomade would feel like. It's a little bit sticky, but it's also a little bit waxy. So the way I like to use this, I basically will do the steps with the e.l.f. wax stick and the brow pencil. I'll fill in where I need to fill in, and then I'll just take a little bit of this on the tip of my finger. I'll rub my 2 fingers together, and then I'll just swipe it on the top, like the surface of my brows, and then I take my spoolie and set my brows in the shape that I want them to be, and they will stay like that all day long. This doesn't quite give them the wet look that the CYO gives my brows, but it does almost make them look that way without feeling that way. So it gives them just kind of like a stiff hold that's not like a hardened down hairspray kind of hold. Honestly, the best way to explain it is it's like 50% a hair gel, 50% a pomade. As for the ColourPop, this stuff basically, it's very different than the Brow Freeze. It's like a soap brow. I mean, this is actually already falling out, so I have to be very careful when I open this thing up. But basically you just spray, usually I'll actually spray my brush first and then I'll go into the product itself, wet it down a little bit, work it into the brows, and then brush it up through my brows. So this is actually the one that I am wearing on my brows today. By the way, I'm also wearing the Ulta Beauty pencil. I do think that this one maybe sets and holds even a little bit better than the ABH one does, but it gives them more of a diffused, almost powdery, kind of dull or more matte finish, so they look a little bit softer. And there is one downside to this. I have noticed that sometimes when the product builds up in the brush, you can get little flecks of product in your brows and you really have to work to kind of brush them out and keep them from being too like gunky. So the product can gunk up a little bit if you're not careful, but I love what it does for my brows. I love the way it makes them look when I do have a little bit of time to spend with it. Also, as an added side note, when you go on the ColourPop website, you can buy this thing alone or buy it with the spoolie. I highly recommend buying it with the spoolie because this spoolie is fantastic, and I'm very picky with my brow spoolies. I like them to be a certain way, certain stiffness, not too long. I like them to be nice and short, and this is like the perfect spoolie for your brows. I do have two more award winners for the eyes, and these are both single shadows. So I have just two single shadows that are standouts from this last year. First up, the ColourPop Ladybird single eyeshadow. I'm such a fan of this. I've mentioned it many times here on my channel. I use it all the time. If there's ever a palette that doesn't give me something bright and sparkly and shiny for my inner lid and I want that look, I will reach for this one because it goes with absolutely anything. It's the perfect cross between a tiny bit of a golden champagne, a tiny bit of pink, and even a little bit of like a cool silvery tone. It's very sparkly, very reflective, but I love the way this looks on my eyes, and I'm telling you, it pairs with absolutely anything. It is what I'm wearing on my inner lid today. That's that bright sparkly shine that you're seeing there. It's incredible. I have several of these single shadows and this is by far my favorite. But I also want to give an award to the Sydney Grace cream shadow in the shade Starstruck. I have a couple of these as well. I think I have 4 of these now, and this is my favorite because of the sparkle in it. This does have some glitter inside, but if you are someone that likes the look of glitter on your eyes but hates when glitter transfers down onto your face, if you're wearing, like even this one, I will get a couple of flecks of glitter sometimes below my eyes or on my cheek by the end of the day. It doesn't bother me that much, but I'm telling you, if you hate that and you only want to wear a glitter that's not going to budge, this is the one for you. It is a metallic, but it has a strong glitter reflect to it as well. It's a nice, warm, kind of peachy pink. It's so stunning. This is another one of those shades that goes with just about anything. It's also not quite as icy, so if you think that Ladybird is a little bit too white-based for you, you want something a little bit darker or more mid-tone, this is a great option. If you like the sparkle, but you want something not so bright. Okay, I have another random product. This is a face palette. So I did try out quite a few face palettes this year, not a ton, but I do have one that I love so much, and it is the Benefit Cheek Stars palette. Actually, I think I tried this out last fall, but I used this thing a ton this last year, and what I love about this palette is I love everything inside her. There's not a shade inside here I don't use. I am wearing it on my cheeks today, so basically I went in with Hoola and a little bit of Dallas, which is kind of like a blush slash bronzer. I mixed those two together, applied them as my bronzer, then I mixed Sugar Bomb and Georgia together for my cheeks, for my blush, and then popped a little bit of the cookie highlight on my cheekbone. I'm so glad that I picked up this palette. I meant to pick up the cookie highlighter last fall. I ended up going with the palette even though it was more expensive, but I'm so glad that I did because I really do love everything in here. The bronzer, the blushes, and especially that cookie highlight. So let's jump into the lip products, starting with 2 that I'm confident that you guys can probably guess because I've been raving about these things all year long. They are from Hard Candy. They are the Hard Candy Plumping Serum Lip Balms. I have these 2 shades specifically that I'm mentioning today, Colossal Caramel, which is this one right here, and Bountiful Bear, which is the lighter shade right here. Now these are basically just really nice lip balms that give my lips a little bit of that plumping effect that I just find my lips kind of need. The plumping effect is pretty subtle, but I do love what these do for my lips. So it's these 2 right here. This one is Bountiful Bear. This one is Colossal Caramel. I love these things. I take them with me everywhere. They are always in my purse. I do want to say though, I had a friend recently mention that she couldn't stand the smell of these, and after she said that, I've been thinking about that since she said that, and I was like, you know what? They don't smell good. And that's usually something that bothers me. For some reason, I didn't really think about it initially. I would prefer if they smelled like sugar. I just love how easy these are to use. They work great for my lips. I can even use them on my cheeks sometimes. They're great ones to throw in your purse. I have these in my purse 90% of the time, and they've been there for like the last 9 months. So definite award winners for 2021. Let's go with some lipsticks. So I have just 3 lipsticks that were absolute standouts for me this year. These are the ones that would be crowned like the best of the best lipsticks from 2021. Starting with this one right here, Charlotte Tilbury JK Magic. Very pricey lipstick, yes, but I am so happy to own this one. I think everybody should own at least one really nice high-end lipstick that makes you feel fancy when you put it on, and this is exactly that. I mean, look how pretty this packaging is. The formula is great. It's a very nice creamy, almost matte formula. It has quite a bit of opacity to it. It's a really perfect peachy kind of warm nude pink, which I absolutely love, but it does still have a good amount of pink in it, which is a must for me in a lip color. I love it so much. Honestly, every time I wear this, I feel fancy, and as a bonus, it's supposed to remind you of Harry Potter, which I love as well. For those of you that think it's crazy to spend $37 on a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, I've got another award winner in the Flower Beauty lipstick in the shade Naked Blush. These lipsticks are so good. The formula feels as good as any high-end lipstick that I've ever tried. Here's the shade right here. This one's just a little bit more cool tone of a pink. This one has a little bit more peach in it, whereas this is just a little bit more of a cool kind of mid-tone pink. Beautiful, beautiful shade. Goes with anything. Fantastic formula. I think this might be my favorite lipstick formula at the drugstore that I've tried so far. I have a lot that I love. I love the Maybelline lipsticks. There's some ColourPop ones that I love, but I think this is probably the most high-end feeling formula. Of all the ones I've tried, in this shade is amazing as well. Last lipstick award winner goes to the Juvia's Place lipstick in the shade Chic. This one really surprised me how much I ended up falling in love with this one and enjoying it. It is the most matte of all the formulas that I'm sharing with you today. You can also see it's the most cool tone pink. Oh man, you guys, though, I love this shade on my lips. There's something about kind of a bright, well, it's not a bright pink. It just has that blue kind of brightens up your face, but it's not too dark. It's not too bold or Barbie or vibrant. It's just the right shade of nude for me. I am wearing this one on my lips today. I do have a lip gloss on top and a liner underneath that we'll get to in just a minute, but one of my favorites from 2021, and as a bonus, really adorable packaging. Let's go with a couple lip glosses. First off, for my high-end award-winning lip gloss, I'm going to go with the Fenty Glossy Balm again. I have a couple that came close. I was really close to picking the Rare Beauty one. That's a great one if you don't like anything sticky, but I still just love this gloss so much. It smells good. It has a little bit of sparkle in it. It is just the right amount of sticky. I do like a gloss that has a little bit of tack to it. I think the tackier the gloss, generally speaking, the more glossy it actually appears on your lips. I love this one, the shade Sweet Mouth, because it's a little bit sheer, so it pairs on top of anything, but also looks beautiful alone. I'm not wearing this one. That's right, I ended up going with a different one. My bad. But I often reach for this one. It's one of my most used glosses. It actually sits on my desk at all times, and I have a little container here on my right that has like my gel liners and some of my most used lip products, and this is always in there. Another award-winning gloss for 2021. This would be the best new gloss that I tried out in 2021, is to the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. These glosses are incredible, and more than anything, what I said about the hard candy, the scent, if you don't like anything that doesn't smell delicious, you will love the smell of this. This is the best smelling lip product I think I've ever smelled. Ooh. It just smells like cake. Oh, it smells so good. I love it so much. This was another one that's really nice and comfortable. It's not quite as sticky as the Fenty, but it still gives a good amount of gloss. It's also quite opaque. It has a little bit more color to it, at least this shade, which is the shade Silk. Here it is right here. I am wearing this gloss on top of that Juvia's Place lipstick today. It's really beautiful. The packaging is really nice. The smell is amazing. The color is great. Easily the best new gloss of the year. I also want to give out an award again to my NYX Butter Glosses though. I just feel like I need to mention these every year because they are still, I think, the best bang for your buck at the drugstore. They're such good glosses. They're really simple, but even after all the glosses that I've tried, I continue to come back to these time and time again. The two shades I use the very most are Creme Brulee and Tiramisu. This one's a little bit lighter, a little more peach. This one's a little bit more pink, a little bit more mid-tone. I love them both. I've repurchased both of these shades several times. I also like the shade Madeline. I have a couple other shades as well, but these ones I continue to reach for over and over again, year after year. Okay, I want to give out a lip product award to this right here. This is the Cindy Grace Lip Cream in the shade Kaylee. I don't think I picked this out myself, but I got it either as a gift from them or in a mystery box, and I am so impressed with these. These remind me a lot of a gloss with just more punch to it, more pigment to it. Here it is on the back of my hand right here. This one does have quite a bit of color in it, so it's almost like a lipstick, but it has a glossier finish. Probably the thing I would most compare this to are the Wet n Wild High Shine lip glosses, but this one has even more opacity, even more pigment to it, and it's a beautiful shade. Look how pretty this is. Also, this one smells really good. This one actually smells like cotton candy, which is a definite bonus. I do love my yummy scented lip products. Maybe it's just the price of the hard candy ones that I don't hold it against them for that, but generally speaking, I like something that smells or tastes like candy. I've got to give out an award this year for the best red lip, and the award has to go to Persona Phoenix again. You guys, this is just my go-to red lip. There are other red lipsticks, red lip colors, even formulas that I like, but nothing quite beats this one right here. It has just the right amount of orange. Such a beautiful classic red that's just nice and brightening. I love it in the middle of winter. I especially love it in the summertime because it has that brightness to it. It's so, so amazing. My very favorite red. There's others that I love. I actually love her Holy Grail red lip. This is in my Shop My Stash right now. This is more of like a Christmassy, deeper red. In fact, why don't I swatch them side by side just in case you want to see how they compare. This one is beautiful as well. There's the Holy Grail right there. But if I had to pick one, I'd go with the Phoenix color because I just love that touch of orange. I think it's kind of modern and trendy and it brightens up your skin a little bit. All right, let's go with lip liners. I'm curious to know, for those of you who have been watching me like pretty regularly this last year, I have 2 award-winning lip liners today. Curious to see if you guys can guess them both. My guess is you probably can. Let's start with this one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Lip Liners. I have 2 shades. Honestly, if I had to pick one shade, I think it would be Iconic Nude. This one's just a little bit deeper. It's a little bit more kind of a muted color. It goes with anything. If I really just want to like define my lips and then I can pop any color on top of this is basically what I'm trying to say. This one right here I really like as well. It's the shade Pillow Talk, but this one is a true nude pink. It has a lot more pink in it and you can definitely tell on your lips, which I like sometimes, but I think I'd pick the Iconic Nude if I had to. But honestly, the main reason these are award winners for 2021 is just their lasting power. So these things last better than any lip liner that I have ever tried. Now there is a very specific way that I have to use these to get them to last. So basically I will outline my lips with these. Sometimes I'll fill in just a little bit on the center and then I'll take my finger and kind of smudge them or press them into my lips. Then I'll give them about 30 seconds to a minute to really like soak in and set down. Then I'll go on top of them with either a gloss or a lipstick or both. And I'm telling you guys, that lip color will last for hours and hours and hours, even through eating. They are so, so good. I'm not one to try out a lot of high-end lip liners, but I'm so glad that I did finally break down and try these ones out because I haven't found anything at the drugstore that lasts quite as well as these. Let me know if you guys have tried any other lip liners from other high-end or even drugstore brands that you think compare to these, but so far I haven't found one. As for my drugstore lip liner for 2021, I've got to go with the Milani Color Statement lip liners. These are my go-to lip liners. The Charlotte Tilbury ones, I mean, I would love to say I would like to use these every day, but I don't because they're pretty pricey and they wear out pretty quick. Like they dull down. I have to sharpen them quite often. They're my special occasion lip liners, but for an average day, these ones are really good. They definitely aren't as long lasting as the Charlotte Tilbury, but they do last a good amount of time. They're the perfect shade. I like these 2 shades equally. Honestly, I use them kind of interchangeably because I think this one's even worn off, so I usually don't even know what shade it is. I just put it on. But I will swatch them side by side for you guys so you can see the subtle differences. This one is the shade 04 All Natural. Here it is right here. Looks a lot like Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury. Maybe a little bit more brownish. I definitely wouldn't call it a brown though. And then this one is 03 Nude, which is a little bit more pink in tone. They actually kind of look just like the differences between those 2 right there. What do you know? Great lip liners, easy to sharpen, super affordable. You can find these for sometimes around like $3 a piece. I think I've repurchased both of these shades at least 2 times and I'll continue to buy them because I think they are so good. Okay, let's move on to some setting sprays. I do have 2 award-winning setting sprays from 2021. My first one I'm going to give to the ColourPop Pretty Fresh setting spray. I really love this setting spray. It's actually quite affordable considering you get a ton of product in here. I think the standard price for this is about $14 for a bottle, but ColourPop is one of those brands that goes on sale all the time. I love it. I will say though, I've had this one for a while and the bottle is starting to it's okay, but I did have like a plug in the bottle to where there were a couple days where I was using this and it was kind of like squirting weird. It wasn't as nice and misty as it normally was. It looks like it's okay now, but that's just something to be aware of. Maybe the spray is not the best in the world, but it's pretty good. It smells nice, really nice dewy formula that's not overly dewy. I do have a higher end setting spray award winner from 2021 and it is the Urban Decay All Nighter Ultra Glow setting spray. I've kind of fallen in love with this setting spray, which is somewhat bizarre because I don't typically go for high-end setting sprays other than the original All Nighter. This one I'm finding to work just about as well though, but it doesn't dry my skin out the way that one does. Now that one does, it can make my skin start to feel a little bit dry like by the end of the day. This one doesn't seem to do that. Gives me a little bit more glow, but I find that it still does a good job at keeping my makeup in place. Great sprayer, which is always a bonus. I mean, it's very nice and wide and evenly misty. I was fortunate to get this for half price. It is pretty pricey, but I do really enjoy it. I'm glad that I tried it out this year. Next up, I have a couple of tools to share with you guys. First off is my eyelash curler. So this one right here is from Sephora. I just got this one about 2 months ago and I really like it. It actually fits my eyes really, really well. I have another one from Tweezerman. That was kind of my old one. I also have had the e.l.f. one before. That one's a pretty good one if you're looking for something really, really cheap. I love an eyelash curler. I'm telling you guys, once you start curling your eyelashes, you'll never go back. In fact, I remember years and years ago, before I started my channel, Lisa Eldridge said something along the lines of everyone should curl your eyelashes. And now that I've been doing it so long, if there's a day that I don't curl my lashes and I put my mascara on, I notice a huge difference in how open my eyes look. So I would especially recommend it to those of you that have smaller eyes. It does wonders for making your eyes look a little bit bigger and making your lashes look a little bit longer. Next up for tools, I have two brushes I want to share with you guys today. First off, for my eyeshadow award-winning brush for 2021, how to go with the Rephr number 16 brush. I just think this is such a great multi-purpose brush. Now, I do prefer doing an eye look with this one and a smaller blending brush, but I can do a full eye look with just this brush alone. I just love this brush. I think it's incredible. It's so incredibly soft. It washes up nicely. Easily one of my most used brushes, and the softest brush I think I've ever felt on my eyes. I have one award-winning face brush from 2021, and it comes from the Alter Ego face set. It is the number 4 brush. This is just a tiny little powder brush. I actually use this brush specifically for cream and liquid blush. I think it has now officially replaced my Luxie tapered highlight, or tapered, I can't remember what this one's called, duo fiber powder brush, which used to be my go-to. I actually lost this one for a while, and I started using this one, and I've learned to love this one even a little bit more. It's a little bit smaller. It is the perfect shape for like a cream blush. It does such a good job of I can literally just like tap 3 or 4 little taps on my cheeks and my blush looks perfect. It's nice and soft. It's not too dense. It's the perfect size. I love how this applies liquid or cream blush. All right, we are just about done. We are down to the real miscellaneous stuff. Let's start with skincare. I do have one, or actually 2 award-winning skincare products from 2021, and I'm going to give them to these 2 from Muesli. So I started using Muesli, which is like an online prescription skincare program, about 6 or 7 months ago. So I started off with this one right here, which is their spot cream. Now this one is a hydroquinone treatment. It has 12% hydroquinone in it. This stuff does work really well. I really noticed initially when I started using this back, like right before the summer, I started using it, and I really noticed I have this spot on my cheek right here that drives me absolutely bananas. I think it's just sun damage. It might be like an acne scar, but I cannot get that spot to completely go away. I really noticed that this started to fade it. However, I will say I think this would work a whole lot better if I was able to completely stay out of the sun. Unfortunately, I don't really want to live my life in a dark cave. Like, I like going out in the sun with my kids in the summertime. So it's a tough balance to strike, but I do think that this helps keep my sunspots from getting worse. I am hopeful that now that I'm out of the sun for a while, like during this winter, maybe I'll be able to get that fading and go down even a little bit more. This stuff is $60, but it does last me about 2 months if it's the only product I'm using and I'm using it once a day. Currently though, I've transitioned over to using this one. This is the skin cream. Sorry, I'm trying to cover up my confidential information. This one is their tretinoin treatment. So this one specifically has 0.05% tretinoin in it. They do have one that is a little bit stronger than that, and they might have one a little bit less strong than this. I think this might be the medium strength one. I didn't want to go too strong because I've never done Retin-A before, so I've been using this for about 2 months now, and just in the last 3 weeks I've really noticed my skin. I mean, I don't want to say I look like younger or it's doing anything like magical, but I do think my skin is starting to look a little bit better, a little bit smoother. I just feel like I look a little less haggard than I was a couple of months ago, which normally is the opposite. Usually when I start to lose my tan in the wintertime, I start to feel like a little bit more ghostly and transparent, and my skin just looks and feels a little bit thinner than it did in the summertime when it was hidden by a tan. I'm going to continue to use this through the winter. I'll probably stop in the summertime and just use this as like a wintertime, fall, wintertime, maybe spring treatment. This one is also $60 per tube, and they kind of do it on like a time schedule, but you can vary that however much you want. So initially when I started with this one, I was doing it once per month, but I actually found that 1 tube was lasting me longer than a month, so I kind of stocked up on about 3 of these. I actually have 1 more that I haven't even dipped into yet, and I'm finding the same to be true with this one. They sent me another tube, but I wasn't even half done with this one yet, so they usually last me about 2 months a tube is kind of what I'm estimating. That is still a lot of money. I've got to say, you guys, I am not a skincare, well, I'm by no means a skincare expert, but I'm not even a skincare junkie. Like, I'm very basic with my skincare. I basically use CeraVe and Cetaphil products. I'm very, very simple with what I use, but I told myself when I turned 40 that I'd start doing Retin-A, which this basically is, and I'd try and do something about this spot on my face. So these are helping with that. They're my award winners for this year. They are a little pricey, but I do actually think they're doing something for me. Okay, that one was way too much talking. Let's move into some hair products. I'm just going to breeze through these. Starting with my conditioner, my award winner has got to be the Olaplex No. 5 Bond Maintenance Conditioner. Now this is not a daily conditioner for me. I only use this like every other week Basically, anytime I put color or blonde in my hair, I use this, and it does wonders for helping my hair out when it gets a little bit damaged. Real quick mention for this. So my son, last spring, his baseball team made it to the state playoffs, and their team dyed their hair blonde for the state tournament, and a little section of his hair got a little bit fried. So I treated it with a little bit of this stuff, and it did wonders for that section of hair that was all like, it looked like burnt hair, honestly. But it helped so much, and that kind of was like the moment I realized, wow, this stuff really does work wonders for dry damaged hair. I also want to give an award to my Blonde Brilliance Purple Toning Shampoo. Now this stuff is a serious toner. It's not your average purple shampoo. It is very, very, very dark purple. I get this at Sally Beauty Supply, and I only use this in my hair about every other week. But I love it for helping my hair maintain a little bit more brightness. I actually feel like I need to use it right now. My hair gets very yellow, very warm. I just think adding this every couple of weeks to my blonde makes it look a little bit brighter. Last hair award winner for 2021. These look a little gross, I apologize. It's got to go to my Kenra hair color. So I have two shades. I use these to touch up my roots. I have 6A and 7A. Those are the two that I combine, basically equal amounts, to touch up my roots when my gray starts to come in. Yes, I have very gray hair. In fact, I have a lot of very gray hair. It's getting to the point where I'm like, how much longer am I gonna fight this? I've had some conversations with some of you in the comments section about this struggle. For those of you that have gray hair or are trying to fight gray hair, it's a struggle, but I'm continuing to fight, and this is helping me to fight that battle. Okay, we're just about done. I do want to mention a couple of nail products. So I'm actually wearing Olive & June press-ons today. They sent these to me a couple months ago, and I finally got the guts to try them out for today's video. I'm a little intimidated, I've got to be honest. They probably look good from a distance. Up close, there's a few that I struggled with. I'm new to this press-on nail thing, but we're gonna give them a try. I'll keep you posted on how they wear. But I do have some polishes I want to share with you guys. You guys know how much I love Olive & June. They send me a lot of their nail colors, but sometimes I buy them on my own because they don't send me every collection that they come out with. But I've gone through everything that I own, and I think I have almost every color that they offer. And I've picked out my top 6 shades, and they're these right here. Oh, I feel like I should have gotten a blue or a dark purple, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with 6. These are gonna be the 6. Let's start with this green right here. This is the shade WKF. This is my favorite green from them. It's a good, like, any time of year kind of green. You can wear it in the summer, in the fall. It has a little bit of blue in it. It's kind of like a mossy blue-green. I love it. This one right here is the shade RP. If you're into kind of grayish colors, this is the perfect grayish. It's not too dark, but it's not too light either. It's really nice and cool toned, but it's not too gray. It has a little bit of brown in it where it looks just right on your nails and goes with anything. If you like a little more sparkle, this one right here is my favorite shimmer that they do. This is the shade OJSM. It's a perfect rose gold. I love this shade so much. Anytime I want something a little bit more dressy, this is my favorite color to reach for. Also, it almost has a little bit of silver in it as well, so this actually looks really good with both silver and gold jewelry, which is a bonus. My favorite nude pink from them, and this one was tough because they have so many light nude pinks that I love. My very favorite has got to be this one right here. This is the shade HZ, which is the perfect nude pink because it's not too light. As much as I like something really light, kind of like this shade, it's really hard to work with a lighter shade because unless you're a professional at doing your nails or you give them plenty of time to dry, if you make any mistakes or anything gets out of line, you're gonna notice it. This shade is just dark enough to where it blends in with my skin tone a little bit more to where I don't have to be so careful with it, but it looks so pretty and feminine on my nails. Every time I wear this shade, I just think, oh, that's such a pretty color and is such an easy color to wear. This one right here is the shade SC. This is a nice, deep kind of wine berry color. I love a good wine dark berry, especially in the fall and the winter. It's a great shade for your toenails. I even like it on my nails, especially this time of year. Really good one if you like that kind of deep burgundy color. And last but not least is this one. This is the shade JJ. I love this shade because it's like a brown rose. It's so interesting. It goes with so much. Looks really nice on the nails. One of my favorite shades to reach for in the fall. It's a little bit darker, but it's not super, super dark. So if you don't like going this dark on your fingernails, this is like a dark for the people that don't like really, really almost black dark shades on their nails. This is like the perfect color. Last award winner for the nails, I've got to give it to the Olive & June Clear Coat. You guys, this is the best top coat I've ever tried. It is a little pricey. In fact, my sister recently told me that when hers was half gone, she poured in a little bit of like a Sally Hansen top coat to kind of get a little more life out of it, which I thought was a genius idea. She said it didn't really change the formula very much, but it just kind of extended it a little bit more. I never paint my nails without finishing them with this. It makes them really nice and shiny, almost gel-like looking, and it does help them last a little bit longer as well. And that, you guys, that is it. Those are all my miscellaneous award winners for 2021. What did you guys think? Any surprises in here for you guys? I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully it was helpful for you. It's always nice to come back and revisit the very best of the best from the entire year. Merry Christmas to those of you celebrating. Happy holidays. I hope that you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Let me remind you one more time, please subscribe before you leave. That is all for now. Thanks again, you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye. A good one, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye. I forgot to say bye. Dang it. What a beautiful angel. That's Charlie's name. C-H with her face. That's your new signature. I love it. That's so creative. Look at the puppy. Oh, you are such a great artist. Oh, we should hang these up. We could hang them up on our window.
No, we're supposed to take pictures.
Oh, you want to take pictures of them? Okay, one more. Penguin. Oh, I see them.